Welcome. Excited tonight to have a new topic on hand for one of our Phygital Learning webinars. My name is Nathan Wells, and I'm excited to bring a new topic to you all with Monica, who's going to walk us through and talk to us a little bit about using Lumio in the classroom. This is part of our series of free Phygital Learning webinars that we've been doing throughout the school year, and love to have you share them. The events page on our website, phygitallabs.com, has all the upcoming webinars. We're going to be adding some more actually next week for the rest of the spring. And so those will be up there. And then you can find our YouTube channel where this recording will be there, as well as all the ones we've been doing over the last year. So hopefully you can stay connected with us and find lots of reasons to continue to join these and share them with others. But without getting any farther, I'm going to let Monica take over, introduce herself, and help us get into interactive strategies with Lumio. Thanks, Monica, for being here.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Monica Alicea, and I am a professional learning specialist, and I work with Phygital Labs, but I'm also a Lumio ambassador and a certified trainer, and I love Lumio, so I'm excited to share with you all about Lumio. So I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start this lesson. So I'm going to start this lesson. And if you'd like to join, Nathan is going to put the join code in the chat so you can join me. Or if you want to join on your phone, in just a minute, a QR code will come up. So you'll be able to see the QR code and you can join that way. So you can join through the QR code, or you can go to lumioclass.com. Enter the code that Nathan is putting into the chat, 828630, and choose join as a guest. And then you just type in your name, and that's all you need to do. Okay, so as Nathan said, this is Interactive Strategies with Lumio. And so what is Lumio? Lumio is a web-based tool that you can use with your students, and also for professional learning. If you are a coach, you can use it in professional learning, where you can take things that you already have, whether you use Canva, whether you use Google Slides, PowerPoint, and you can use those in conjunction with Lumio and make lessons interactive. So join my class from the student perspective, and what you're seeing here, and this is actually their new version. They just updated it. I have it in beta because I am part of their beta group, which anybody can join, so that you can see new perspectives as they come. But what you're seeing on my screen is from the teacher's perspective. So again, we already gave you the information. This is just one of the activities that you can do. I'm going to start this activity, and you would see it on your screen if you join my class. And all you need to do is go ahead and take one of these cars and move it where you are along the plane of Lumio. So if you're a novice, if you're just beginning, you can put your car here, and you'll notice that these cars, you can use more than one. They're great. We have it, Lumio has an infinite cloning feature where you can put items down to clone. It's great for, like, you could do this with your students. You could change this map by saying something like, maybe, how are you feeling about this new lesson that we're learning? Like, maybe you were teaching multiplication. You can say, how are you feeling about multiplication? And what's really good about it is if you have a kid that says they're an expert, then you can say, okay, class, if you need help and I'm busy, go to so-and-so. As a teacher, I can click on the actual car and click the drop down menu, and I can see who added that. And that way I can help students or talk to them individually if I need to, or address any concerns. So this is one of my favorite things about Lumio. You can start with any content that you already have: Google Drive, PowerPoint, PDFs, Canva, or if you happen to have old smart notebooks, you can use those also. You can use YouTube. YouTube allows you to when you put it in a Lumio presentation, there are absolutely no ads. It's wonderful. I'll show you that. You can add ready-made lessons, which they already have in their Lumio library. We have graphic organizers, we have assessments, all kinds of things. You can switch, like I could switch this from being student paced to teacher paced, so students could move forward on their own if you want. You can make activities an individual handout, a group handout. There are games already built in that you can just type in questions. It also has an AI factor. So if you just wanted to ask Lumio to build you a game with a certain topic, it will do that for you. You have shapes, lines, stickers, images, an equation editor for all the math teachers out there. It has Immersive Reader built in, which I absolutely love, and I'll be able to show you that. You can add audio instructions, which is wonderful for students who are struggling readers or just are, need that accessibility tool. Class sessions is one of the things that they have now. We are in a class session. We have shouted outs, responses, and Desmos is also an activity that you can do. So this Firefly, that's Lumio symbol. Another activity I can do is you can move the Firefly to what you're most interested in learning about or trying out in Lumio. So you could take your Firefly and move it to whatever you are most interested in learning about. And that just is another way to make something interactive. You could use a slide like this and put in things for your students for a quick response by having them move a feature. Okay, so I'm just going to go on because we only have 30 minutes and 30 minutes goes by so fast. I'm not going to go in detail on this slide, but it is to show you that no matter what part of a lesson you are in, engaging, exploring, elaborating, or evaluating, there are all kinds of Lumio activities already built in. So let's look at an example, and this is the best way for you to really see how Lumio works. So this is an example. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I wanted to show you how a YouTube video, you can see there are no advertisements here. So when I click play, it will play, and you could also play it on your side if you wanted. Now, in a lot of our lessons, we start with, okay, let's start with a video to get kids motivated. And the nice thing about it is I'm just going to show you real quick. Okay, so you can see there are no advertisements. It's wonderful. But as a motivator to start, when you want to add a video in Lumio, there are so many different activities that you can do. And you can just, if you can search for the Lumio video, but if you have a URL already for a YouTube video, you can just put it in there, and I'll kind of show you that too. So this is an example of an individual handout. When I click student progress, it will get you to start. If you see the directions, it says highlight in pink any new words that you've learned, put a check mark by concepts that you understand or agree with. And you can see it from the student perspective on your end. I'm going to show you what it looks like on the teacher's perspective. This is showing me what you are doing, who's starting the lesson, who's in progress, and when it's completed. But of course, I don't want to have this up while the students are doing this if I have it on my flat panel. A good thing about Lumio is you don't have to have a flat panel or overhead, device. You can do this from your laptop and students can work on their own personal devices. But I would have the teacher handout up there so that students would just see this on any board that you have where you're projecting activities for them to do. But again, your toolbar is on the left-hand side for you to use. You can do a touch tool. You can use a pen tool, and you can see that's the pen, that's the highlighter. So I can choose my highlighting to highlight new words, and that's what you can do also. I can change the thickness. I can erase. and so on. So these are our tools. We'll use a couple more of them in a minute, but I just wanted to show you this. So, and then again, when I want to go back to looking at what students finished, I can look here. Okay, so the next activity is a weathering and erosion activity. Now, I did not make that. Let's see, I'm gonna close that. Okay, so on this one, I might do this whole class and I would ask students for responses, and I could simply use the pen tool and write what students say, or I could easily type by clicking the A, and I could type in responses. Now, I did want to go back to this for 1 minute, sorry, because I did want to show you when I start this, you should have had on your toolbar the book, and the book is where Immersive Reader is. So you can click on that and you can start Immersive Reader. So it will go right into Immersive Reader. And if you've never used Immersive Reader, you have tools up here that can change the speed, and students can do this individually. Now, if you were using this as a teaching tool, you could also turn on the nouns. And then you also have, you can choose a language, so students could have it interpreted into their own language if they needed to. So I just wanted to show you that, and then you would click play and it would read it aloud to students, which I love. And then you just click the back button and you're in there. So I wanted to show you that before we moved on. Okay, so here's another activity. I'm going to show you modeling the activity, and you can this is one of their games that they have, their game-based activities. So you can take one of the indicators here. So like flood water pounds against a wall and wears it down. Is that weathering or erosion? So I'm just going to put it here. And if it's the right answer, it's going to accept it. If it's the wrong answer, it'll kick it out. So that's a way for students to get instant feedback to see how they are doing. I can view progress again. I can view my students' progress to see how they're doing. Right now, it's telling me that nobody has started, but if they were working on it, it would tell me in progress and completed. If I wanted to see the results, I could turn on results. Now, notice that you would never want to put this up in front of the class, but you could actually take that and look at it. Like I could be looking at it on my laptop as students were working, and I could see their results instantly. And I could see if I needed to pull a small group to work with them and to do some reteaching for them. So I love that. And so you could see that somebody's completed it, and 1 out of 8 score, that student. And another thing that I love, it also says how much time the student spent on the activity. So that could be when I consult with my student, I might say, hey, I see you only got 1 right, but I see you only took 4 seconds to finish this activity. Maybe you need to slow down and try it again. Okay, so something, it's great feedback. And then you can export, once you have your whole class, you can export the results into a Excel file. So you would have that for maybe conferencing with parents and letting them know, or like even letting, monitoring progress for students for an RTI meeting, things like that. Okay, so this is just showing you this is what the student sees, and then this is what the teacher sees, and this shows you how you can export it to an Excel document. I love it. Okay, so this is a monster quiz game. This is so much fun to get students to do. So I'm going to start for the class. And I know we don't have a lot of people in this class right now, but you can, I'm just going to go ahead and just divide it into 2 teams and just try it out. I'm going to start the game and just try it out and see what it looks like. It's a lot of fun. All I will get to see, I don't get to see the quiz, but I get to see who answers and who's winning. When you have a lot of teams, the teams actually start encouraging each other to finish, because you don't usually win the game until you don't stop the game until everybody's finished. Although if you don't have time, you can stop the game and move on anytime you want. Like, let's say you ran out of time and you got to go over the quiz with your students, then you can stop the game at any time. So I love to see how students are doing. So just to save time, we do have a little bit of time, so I'll leave a little bit of time in there just to see. But you'll see it'll say first place, second place, and it gets kids excited. And they don't even have to be sitting together to do this, but they are on the same team. You could have them sit together. Once they start, to help each other out too. Notice that it jiggles when there's a wrong answer, but it doesn't say who got the wrong answer. Notice that, which is great. Okay, so you see it says first place, and then we just got to wait for case creatures to finish. And it'll keep giving you the same question, which is great, until you only have one answer left. And so there's no, it's not devastating to students. Wonderful. So then what it does is it allows you to review the answers with students, and it allows you to go through the questions.
Yeah, I see it on my screen. I can see, oh yeah, you have it there too. But yeah, on my screen, it shows me how I answered and which ones I messed up on. That's good.
Right. Now notice here, it doesn't tell me that, but I can at least go over the answers with kids. Like, so these
Nice.
games are great when you want to do a review before a big test, and then you can go over the answers with students so that they know exactly what they missed, and it just gives great immediate feedback to students. So I love the different games that they have. Okay, so that one is called Monster Review. Now, I'm going to actually stop here, and I'm going to end the session so that I can show you what these look like in Lumio. So this is the Lumio base area. So I have my library, and then class sessions is just where I was. That's where when I start a session, it is. And then there's the Lumio library. And I just want to show you a few things that just to get you started of how you can do this. You simply, you can start with an AI lesson. I can start here and I can say, I need a lesson for
AI lesson means like AI generated. Is that
yes,
right?
for
Nice.
third grade multiplication. And I can change this to third grade, and I can click generate. It will generate, and I don't know how long this will take, so we might not be able to watch it, but it gives me a lesson objectives, a warm up, a shout it out, explore, explain. So it goes through those. Let's apply, and it even gives me a game. Okay, so it's all here. I can choose a template. I can choose any of these templates that's already created. So let's just say I choose this one. I click create lesson, and it has now just created it. And I don't know how long this is going to take. So if it takes too long, I can cancel it and move on. But it should just take, it says this could just take to a minute. So let's see how long it takes. It's pretty quick usually, but it just depends on how much you want. The nice thing is once it's generated, you do not have, you can add in a slide from your Google Drive or from PowerPoint or from Canva. So I'm just going to cancel it just so for sake of time. Just to show you how easy that is. I also want to show you the Lumio library. You can start from there. So there's so many things. There's emotional literacy, brain breaks, manage your classroom, instructional toolkits. All of these are already created files. So we know that test taking prep is coming soon. So if you look here, there are so many activities and lessons already created for test taking prep. You can just look at one. Let's just say I looked at this one. If I like it, I can save it to my library. I like to do things like this when I'm watching TV and I just kind of go through, if I'm starting a new topic, I just kind of go through the Lumio library, see what I find, and then I save them all to my Lumio library, and then I can mix them and match them. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to results, and I'm going to actually do I want to go back over here because I want to show you how many things that are here. So that, look, they had things for Women's History Month, St. Patrick's Day, graphic organizers, learning and study skills, activity templates, primary math, secondary math, reading and writing. All of these are already in here, ready-made lessons. If your school district uses Jump Math, you can use that. Desmos, Reading and Epic, Book Creator, FET, In the Footsteps of History. So a lot of these music, so if you, or Tinker Coding, you have to have a license, subscription, but they already have some lessons created. Life skills, so many things here, or you can type in a topic. So again, I can say multiplying read 3 by 3s. And I can put my grade level, and I can put my subject area, and I just click the search button. And you can change it. If you have a standard, you can change it to a standard. You can also put United States, because it is worldwide. So, and then here's number search 3 by 1. I can look here and I can see if I like this activity by just scrolling through here. I see that it has an objective for me. It has review. It has a labeling, so you can see the game. So it's a labeling game. Then it says try an example. All of this is already done for me, and I can just click save to my library. So it's really pretty awesome for these to do these things. The other thing, let's see, I want to go back to my library. I can save my library into files. So notice I have assessments, back to school, exit tickets, and then I have, anytime I want, I can just open that. If I have a lot of files, which I do, I can simply click here to the search button. So any of those things. So I'm going to go ahead here and start a new lesson too, to show you how I wanted to show you the YouTube. So if I click YouTube, I can type in my topic. I can even be specific and put 3rd grade. And all of these videos will come up. You can look at each one, you can scan it. And then if you decide you like it, and I'm not going to go through every one, I'm just going to click on it and I can add it to, and it just adds. And then it just becomes kind of like a PowerPoint or a Google slide. And then you can click the plus sign. Oh, it's taking a few minutes. So it'll be just like a Google slide. You add a plus sign and you can add more activities. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and, oh, it's coming. Good. So see, and then I just click this plus sign and I can go add in more activities. Okay, so it's great. All right, I'm going to finish editing this and I'm going to go back to my class sessions and I'm going to go back to this one. And I'm just going to kind of go back to, I'm going to go to my, if I wanted to take something and I forgot to turn it into, say, an interactive activity for the kids, like this one, all I have to do is click this magic wand, and I can turn it into an individual handout, a group workspace, or a whole class whiteboard. So if I just click like that, now you guys would have access to working on it. And again, I would want to show the teacher handout. And since we are here, I'm going to show you how, when I click this plus sign, I can add in stickers, I can add in shapes, or I could add in images. So let's say one of the ways you want to show what weathering or erosion is by searching for an image. You can do this on your screen also. I can type in weathering, click the, okay, I must not like the word weathering. So I'm just going to put, let's see if I try that. Okay. And now it will show me some pictures, and I can pick one that I like. And let's just see, I take this one, and then I can, if your students are doing this, again, as the teacher, I can click on here and see. Okay. It's probably because I'm the teacher, so it's not showing a name. Now, as the students, one of the things you want to teach them is to lock it in place so that other students can't move it around. Okay, so I don't know if you want to try one, Nathan, or just to see what it looks like. And it's just like any image in any other tool, you can drag it. And as the teacher, I could also do stickers. If I see that students are doing a good job, I can click a star and show it. So I'm actually in the teacher activity right now. So if I went and I want, if anyone had started it, I could click on them and I could give them feedback right away. So that's another capability. So I'm glad I was able to show you that. We already checked this out. And so now I'm just going to go talk about a little bit about being an ambassador. If you would like to be an ambassador, you can sign up. Nathan has the link for that in the, he'll put that in the chat, or you can scan the QR code. They're just revamping their ambassador program so that if you sign up to be an ambassador, you become an ambassador, become part of the community. You can also level up into different levels depending on how active you are as an ambassador. So you can see this was at FETC and this was at TCEA. So they do a lot of activities. If you're going to ISTE and you become an ambassador, you can, they'll have an activity, a gathering for ambassadors. And also, if you want to become an ambassador, on the application, it usually asks, did another ambassador recommend you? You can just put Monica, and they'll know that I sent you. Okay. And last but not least, some resources. Nathan has the link for the resources he's putting in the chat, and these are great resources for getting you started with Lumio. And then, of course, you don't want to miss out on any of our Phygital Lab activities. You can follow Phygital Labs on all of our platforms. So there's our link tree and a QR for that. And just
the only other thing I would say is the newsletter is really the best place to also get all those updates, plus other things that are going on, different opportunities for in-person events, virtual events, conference recaps that we've been doing as well, and all of that. So the newsletter kind of gives you a little bit of everything, which is awesome. And then, of course, the link tree is to our website and to the different socials. Monica, thank you so much for walking us through Lumio and helping us kind of understand what that looks like from the teacher's perspective and all the different activities. I didn't quite realize all the different pieces you could do. So it's great to see the analytics and all those things that go together. So thank you so much for being with us and helping us walk through that today.
Awesome. It was wonderful. Thanks, Nathan.
Good. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.